Good evening, good evening. Happy Monday. So today I'm talking about what basically my entire day was about, which was kind of the idea of if you're working to create the next step, the next version of you, the 2.0 version of you, I think it's something that we all struggle with when we're trying to go to that next level of who we want to be, who we see ourselves being in the future, right? And trying to live that now. Because if you keep operating from the level of awareness and consciousness of where you are now, you're going to create more of that, right? So you have to align with a higher version of yourself that already exists. But the struggle in it, I think this is where we all struggle. Because I caught myself multiple times today. I'm like, nope, that's the old you. Nope. These thoughts don't align with Cedo 2.0. Nope, out. And then I have to get myself back on track. But because negative thoughts are going to come. I saw a quote today, no matter how positive you are, no matter how positive a person you are, you're going to have negative thoughts. But the people who are most positive just don't feed them that much, right? So I just think, but you have to be consciously aware enough to notice them, see them for what they are, be the conscious observer of them, right? Mindfulness. I learned all this going through all my OCD stuff over the years. Be mindful of it, observe it. I heard this analogy one time, if you're sitting there and the birds are flying by, I think it's something like this. Someone told me this. I think it was a counselor one time was like, all right, if you're sitting there outside and the birds are flying by, are you going to stop each one and ask them what the hell they're doing? So it's the same thing with your thoughts. When you see them come, the OCD component that I'm used to is the thought comes, I'm like, hey, wait, come here. And then I interrogate it. I'm like, what are you doing here? What's up? And I have a conversation with it. And then if it presents something that I don't want to hear, then I'm fighting with it. Right? And it's usually almost always negative. Versus seeing it and acknowledging it. Oh, what up? And then being the conscious observer of it, mindfulness, and sitting back and going, all right, cool, do your thing. And then eventually it flees because it gets over it. It's not getting the energy that it wants out of you, right? So it figures, well, what's the use? I'm out. And I've learned a lot from my journey with obsessive compulsive disorder that's applied to my journey with trying to better myself all the time is I'm going to get other thoughts that maybe aren't OCD related when I'm on this journey of self-betterment and aligning with a higher version of myself that don't serve me. But I have to be consciously aware enough to notice that thought for what it is as a thought that does not serve me and dismiss it and immediately replace it with something that is in alignment with the new track I'm on. Because I'm constantly reminding myself, I'm like, look, man, I actually have dialogues with myself. I'm like, look, if you keep doing this, if you keep going back and allowing those same thoughts that the old version of you used to allow freely, you're going to continue to live the life that you've always lived. But you say you want this, you say you want to go here and you want to level up in these areas of your life or do this, that, or the other thing, you better make damn sure that the thoughts and the feelings that you're entertaining are in alignment with that new higher version of yourself. So, but then here's the other thing I was thinking about today. Here's a huge key. And I think this is one thing that can make us go back from full alignment and being on track with the new higher version of ourselves, 2.0 version, to back to the old version of us is when we're so consumed and concerned with the 3D world, right? The world we live in, the five senses, see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and we're going, oh, well, The thing I want to bring to fruition, the goal I want to achieve, maybe the amount of money I want to earn, the relationships I want to have, the places I want to travel, the impact I want to have, many number of things under the sun. Oh, I don't see them. So then you almost just revert back to the old version of yourself because you say, what's the use? And I think, but here's the deal. I was literally talking to myself about this today. I'm like, look, you've done it before. You've done it many times. You've done it recently. Here, you need to have faith in knowing that your new path will manifest. It will come to fruition. It will come to pass. It will be brought about. You have to have full faith actually knowing that it will happen. So much so that when you don't see immediate results or it doesn't appear that things are shifting into that new reality that you want to live in, that you still stay the course and you don't revert back to that old version of yourself. That's like the biggest key, I think, is you can't you can't set your intentions for what you want to achieve. At least this is my own personal opinion based on what I've experienced in my life. You cannot set your intentions for what you want to achieve or go after, and then immediately look for reassurance and validation outside of you, because by doing that, you're interrupting the process. I've heard this analogy many times. I don't know who originated it. I don't know, but it's a great one. It's like if you plant a seed, everything has a gestation period of how long it takes to grow, right? To materialize, to actualize. So same things with dreams and goals. But it's like planting a seed for a tree or planting a seed for anything. If you're going to keep going back to that seed and digging it up and checking to see what the under soil conditions are doing deep down in the soil, and if you think it's working or not, it's the same concept. It's the same concept as reverting back to your old self, getting off the track, getting out of alignment with that new version of you that already exists, by the way, that you've decided to align to, but getting out of alignment and off track with it to go back to your old self. It's the same concept as going up, digging up the seed. You're interrupting the process. You're not having faith, trust, and belief in what you're doing, right? And the doing starts in here. Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. It doesn't start out in the world with elbow grease. It can, but it's not the same. You're not changing your habitual patterns really the same that way as if you're just going to go elbow grease it out in the world, because you're still going to revert back to where you're programmed at the end of the day. So again, thoughts, feelings, actions, beliefs. You've got to get in there and tweak stuff and embody that new version of you. And that's where inspired action comes from. Neville Goddard talks about it a lot, but that's where inspired action comes from, is embodying that persona, that heightened reality, that 2.0 version of you in your thoughts and your feelings, at your core, becoming one with it, fusing with it, letting it basically fully surrendering, dying to who you were before, leaving the past in the past, living in the generous present moment, and fully embracing and embodying whatever ideal person you would like to become. And then the key again is refrain from going back to the old version of you, aka digging up the seed to see what the hell's going on. Because that's all lack, limitation, need, Scarcity, I need it. You shouldn't need it. Because if really all you're after in life is a feeling, how that new reality is going to make you feel, you shouldn't need the reality to feel that way. Because we can control our thoughts and our feelings. As within, so without. We got to go within first and change our internal landscape before we worry about, oh man, I want my reality to change. Dude, it doesn't matter. Because if you stay on that track and you stay true to it, it will. You're going to see, it's like, I think it was Steve Jobs who said it. It was his quote. You can always connect the dots looking backwards. Like when you've achieved a goal, you can look back and see how one thing led to another, which led to another, which led to another. But you can't connect them looking forward. So you just have to trust and know that the dots will connect going forward towards whatever your ideal is. Whatever that ideal reality is that you feel in your heart that you want to live, you got to trust and know that the dots will connect going forward to that if and only if you remain in that state of being, that state of knowing, that state of consciousnness that would then bring that reality to fruition, to pass. So that's really, that was a lot of my day today, was thinking about that. Because, you know, when you're really trying to level up, you know that saying, new levels, new devils. I mean, the level up's hard. It is. I mean, it's, you know, when you're constantly wanting to challenge yourself and get better. I mean, that's what I'm most about, to tell you the truth. I want to get better in general. Just from a holistic standpoint, I want to be a better version of myself. I want to fulfill my purpose. I want to do the most. I want to know that I gave it my all. So with that, I'm always like, all right, what can I refine? What can I tweak? What can I add? What can I implement? What do I need to omit? Yada, yada. But it ain't an easy process. I'm not saying it's easy. It is not an easy process. It is not. It is not an easy process. But you got to have faith. Again, faith, belief in the unseen. That one day the unseen will become seen. Knowing. Faith and fear are both belief in the unseen. But they're the antithesis of one another. So you might as well. Bob Proctor used to say that all the time. I'm going to choose faith over fear. Because they're both belief in the unseen a lot of the times. Anyway. Hope this message finds you well. I hope that it's some good food for thought to try to be consciously aware and stay on track with whatever you want to bring to pass, bring to fruition, whatever you want to live, in whatever way you want to level up. I hope it's good food for thought to remember. Stay in alignment with the new version of yourself. Don't go back. Don't revert to the old version, because you're going to keep creating on that same frequency. Get on the frequency with your goals. Stay there. Live there in faith, hope, and gratitude. Much love.